Hello everyone. I'm on my way to work. I just got a new job, and my previous job was a desk job, but this one I get to move all day. I was so tired of sitting, and I just felt like super stagnant in my life, so I just let that go. But for now, I have like an hour commute every day. So, I want to talk about prayer, and I want to talk about spiritual warfare. It is related to a particular topic or a reason behind it. So let me just dive right in. But before I dive in, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. And like, comment, and all of that good stuff, right? So, let's see. Maybe actually I'm gonna make spiritual warfare a separate video. We'll see. If this doesn't go on too long to explain this, but let me get in. So, like 2015, maybe early 2016, I was like, my ascension started maybe like 2013-ish, and I was just flying high for like a couple of years, like just higher and higher, meditating crazy amounts of time. And if you're meditating a lot of times, like, it makes you have an overactive crown chakra, so you kind of get real flighty, like you're just not grounded at all. You're not here on planet Earth, let's put it that way. It's like being high all the time, not really aware of everything around you, not like I am now. Because at some point in time, I did make a conscious decision to ground myself, and one of the reasons I grounded myself was because of this particular experience. And I realized, like, people need me in the physical world sometimes, but or that I was so unaware of what was going on in the physical world, I guess, better put. What was I gonna say? So there was this day I was astral projecting, which I was doing a lot then as well, and I was with some soul group members, and they were like, we got a mission to complete. And so I went along, not knowing what the mission was, but it never matters, you know what I mean? You just know it's a mission to complete, right? And so all I know is that we flew out of where I was, where I was at, and it was like as if we teleported to this particular place, and we were inside of something that almost looked like a dungeon, like as if it was a large basement, like almost like as if you were in a warehouse that had a basement to it, like, you know what warehouses look like, but imagine it being underground. And there were girls in this place that we were. There were girls, and they were all captives. They were all locked up. They were all crying. Some of them were beaten. Some of them were bruised. Some of them you could tell had been there for a long time. Some of them you could tell, were recently put there. But mind you, when we were doing this particular mission, I had no idea about this, and I had never done a mission where there were angels present either. And there were angels present, and the angels were blocking us from being seen, from helping these girls. And we got the girls out. It was like somebody carved a secret passageway or something like that, where they wouldn't be seen, where we wouldn't be seen by the people who were keeping them captive, who appeared to be above ground. And it's like they were coming to get the girls to do whatever it is that they were doing with them. And I'm sorry, I held my breath too long. It makes me really, it's hard to hold my emotion in of it, because I couldn't imagine, like, if I had a child, like, them being gone like that. Like, that's the last thing I think when people's children disappear. is one of the last things you want to think. And these girls, they were anywhere from 12 maybe to like 18 or 19, but most of them were like, you know, in the younger school age. Most of them were school-aged girls, and they were telling me stuff that was happening to them, the stuff that they were doing to them. Some of them were being bought, and some of them were, you know, being sold. Some of them were taken away for their organs. Some of them were taken away for rituals. And a majority of them said that, you know, they were school age, that they were just walking home from school or catching the bus from school, just normal activities, and, you know, disappeared and taken in a way where they wouldn't be able to see where they were going or how far they were going. And they were trying to express to me how deep it is, that they weren't, like, most of those girls were not from that area. And the area that we were in my spirit, I want to say it was Arizona. However, I did not get any physical proof of it being Arizona. It was just dry desert area. Like, it could have been, you know, Las Vegas or something like that, like Nevada, that type area. It was over on that side of the country, and that I was very aware of. It was not over here on the East Coast for sure. But they said that it's deeper than that. Like, it's everywhere. And one of the girls was recounting, like, all the different places that she knew, you know, that she knew that she had been, and how she was never going to get out. She didn't think that she was ever going to get out. And we escorted them to a place of safety, and there was an older couple, maybe like in their 60s, and they were taking these girls and reuniting them with their families, but secretly. You know, especially the ones that, you know, knew where they came from, their name and date of birth. But it wasn't like we were able to rescue hundreds of girls. I think we rescued like maybe 6, maybe 8. I feel like I remember them at least seeing 6 of them. But because our group, I went with 3 other people. The 4 of us split up, so I'm not sure how many the other group exactly got to rescue. But when I came back from that journey, I was just like, it just seemed surreal to me. When I came back from that astral travel, and I kept praying and I kept praying, like I could not sleep knowing that this is happening. Excuse me. I couldn't sleep knowing that this is happening. And so I was staying up, meditating, staying up, praying for the other girls that I couldn't see, that I knew, you know, were also held captive. And I did get an answer that there was help coming. And so fast forward to right now in 2020, and I don't know how many of y'all have actually heard or know about it, but President Trump is the first president to make it known about human trafficking. The first president to sign into law that those who are caught trafficking, that they're prosecuted. In other words, century after century after century, we've been not necessarily in the dark about it. You see it, but you don't see it. You don't recognize that you're seeing it, because people tend to think that they're looking at, I don't know, a fast-paced child. Or they seem to think that it's a decision that people are on drugs, or it's a decision that they're selling their bodies, or that they're pimping, or that they're doing whatever it is that you think that they're doing. Whatever you perceive them to be doing sometimes isn't what it looks like. And this past week, I just had this grieving, like sitting in my chest, in my heart chakra, for young women, a grieving for sex workers in general, male and female, and I will even include transgender But I know that, the age is important, oftentimes more relevant. But because it's not just like people don't just go missing just for sex and sex rituals. They also go missing because of organ harvesting. And it's a real fucking thing. Like, it's a real thing. And this is the first president that has said something about it and wrote something in law to even punish people for doing it. And someone said something recently and it made it all make sense. And I'm going to try to reiterate it the best way that I can. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, you know that, like, you're in a simulated reality, that this isn't real, right? That we're here, but we're not here. That this is all being created for us. So if this is all being created for us and we're living in it, whether you're conscious of it or not, you become aware that you are programmed to an extent. And what he was saying is that we've all been programmed, generation after generation after generation, to not see certain things that are happening, to not put two and two together, to not suspect that's kind of obvious, to not suspect the government of anything, or to think that all people in authority mean you well, and things like that. I don't need to go into a deep description of that because I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. In other words, we've been programmed to, popularize certain things and to demonize other things. And as long as we have this perception of us women who get up every day and we go to work and we work a 9 to 5 and we come home and we take care of our families, then we're better than the women who are selling their bodies. Because that's what we perceive them to be doing, right? Not necessarily what they are doing. I'm gonna be late. I just realized what time it is. Whatever. I'm just doing computer training anyway, no big deal. But I'm sorry, I just glanced over and lost my train of thought. But we perceive these things, and so therefore we don't help these people, we don't pray for these people, we don't touch these people. They're untouchables. And as I look at Trump and his presidency, and I'm not defending him as a person because I don't know him as a person, but as an energy, he's the energy that we need. It's the only thing is, or let's just say the closest thing to salvation. The salvation is the word that I want to use. It's really protection. He's been protecting us from what we're already being programmed to come about. In other words, we're being programmed and prepped for another world at this point in time with COVID. And he's been doing his best to hold back certain measures. And with him not being a president any longer, shit is really about to hit the fan. Like, the reason the media is pushing this image of civil unrest is because they want you to rile up. They want you to wild out. They want you to go crazy, stand in the house. They want you to go crazy with your damn mask on. They want you, even though it don't make a whole lot of sense, but we're not getting into that. They want you to believe that the person who is your skin color is your enemy. They want you to believe the person that is not your skin color is the enemy. They want you to believe the person who doesn't believe in the same candidate as you, political candidate as you, is your enemy. The person who, I don't know, doesn't like meat is your enemy. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. People are allowing themselves to be manipulated. They're allowing themselves to be programmed to be, let's just say, violent and non-peaceful and just wound up, because it gives them the right to initiate martial law. And I think that the grieving that I've been feeling in my soul is not just for, if it's over, like if we really did lose him as a president, we really did lose some big spiritual protection. And I didn't see that before. I don't watch the news and I don't really pay attention to current events, but I do, I've seen the stuff that Trump has said that, pisses people off or rubs people the wrong way, and he has, some kind of ashy way of talking to people. But the point is his actions. The point is his thoughts. The point is the children. The point is innocence. And if we lose him, we lose that. Like we lose this timeline, because it's so difficult to explain, but we are living in a certain timeline and he's trying to keep us in it. And I know, to some people, like, it sounds weird to say that, and it sounds like, well, why would we want to be in this timeline when you don't realize that other timelines are not necessarily a good thing. And this really is the end. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. How we about to bounce back? Like right now, they're talking about going back to phase 1, and that should mean something to you. I'm saying all this to say that we are in spiritual warfare, and I want to tell another story, but I'm not going to make this ridiculously long. I'm going to stop it here and maybe start a second video. But we are in spiritual warfare, and it's time to be praying. And it doesn't matter who you pray to. You just need to be praying for yourself, for your family members, for the children, for the innocents, for those who are defenseless, for those who are misjudged and mistaken. We need to really be like on some intercessory shit, like all night shit. Like when I was a kid, we used to have intercessory prayer once a month, and we had to spend the night in the church praying. But prayer changes things. If the spoken word is your power, and the words that we speak carry a vibration, imagine if we were all on the same vibration of peace, the same vibration of wellness for all of us, for wholeness for all of us. None of this, civil unrest is going on. And I'll just use that blanket term. But imagine if we all got along, if our prayer was for our safety, for our well-being. Because the people who are coming into power is never just the people, it's an energy. And it's a splitting of a timeline that we'll be experiencing if it happens. And I don't know. The point is, if we pray, we stand a chance. If we stand together, we stand a chance. That's all I wanted to say about that. Because, I don't know, let me just make a second video because this one's going on too long.